Probably everyone here in this room can hear me clearly, but unfortunately on the camera, the sound's not so clear. I'm going to try to speak as loud as I can. What happened last Friday, week and a half ago, I was giving a shiur here, and somebody forgot to put the mic away, and then I was looking for a few days. On Tuesday, I went into the side room, and they told me they'd seen it on Monday, but it had disappeared. It kind of looks like this, the mic. This is the second half, the part which attaches the camera is missing. And I have to tell you, it was like a very extremely frustrating experience because I felt, why didn't I go into that room to check? That was the obvious place to look because that was where it was lost. The reason I didn't look is because the person who put it away told me he had definitely put it away. So I was looking all over and not looking in that room. And it got me thinking, like, how could something seemingly so trivial, like missing a mic, get me so upset? Hooray, I was almost choked to death in Brazil on the beaches, and I was run over by a car, pronounced dead. So you would think after that everything else should be smooth sailing. It was bothering me that I was so bothered. So the first thing I decided to do was just try not to be bothered anymore. Just say Kol Ma'adav Rahman L'Tova of it as many times as possible. And it's a few days later, just it doesn't really bother me anymore. I'm hoping I'm going to get another one. I've tried very hard from the people at Turning Time, and they're working on it. It's not so easy because apparently these mics have to be special for each camera, but it's being worked on. But that's the point which I want to talk about now, which is how do we get things, small things, not to bother us. Sometimes the big things we can accept from Hashem, you know. If you're on the beach of Rio de Janeiro, which I recommend not to do it, especially early in the morning, and you get mugged by two people, and Baruch Hashem, you live through it like myself, you can say, okay, it was good. You know, I told the story over many times. It increased my amunah. If I go back to Brazil, I probably won't. My mother-in-law passed away. Not planning to go back so quickly. I make the bracha of Sha'as Li'neis b'makam hazeh, you know. But small things, like tiny things, like losing a microphone, it gets us much more upset. So I want to share with you something that a letter that I got this morning. Somebody from England wrote me a letter. He read one of my books and he asked me the following question. I'm going to pose it to the symposium over here. Right? He said, in my book I wrote about two things. I wrote about the Gemara in Chulin. The Gemara in Chulin says, if a person's ever in danger, in Chulin Daf Zayin, say, Kol Ma'adav Rahman, Eino Milvado. It's a pasuk in Shmos, Ata Reis Ladas, Ki Hashem Elokim Eino Milvado. And it says, if you think Eino Milvado, you'll be saved from anything. Yeah? It's a Nefesh HaChaim, and talks about it in Parag Gimel, in Shar Gimel. We know the famous Nefesh HaChaim. You're dopik with Hashem. As we explain, you get raised up into a different world of Hashem. So that's Eino Milvado. There's another halacha which we speak about often. Right? It's on the All Good card, right here. Right? It's All Good card. On the back, it says, dealing with personal suffering. While painful experiences are inevitable, our emotional response to them is in our hands. The halacha is, a person should accustom himself to say, everything the merciful one does, he does for good. Shulchan Aruch, Orach Chaim, Reish Lamed Hey. So the person, this young person, or old, I don't know how old, he didn't tell me, from England, he asked the following question. He said, why beat around the bush with Kol Ma'adav Rahman Tov? Go straight to Eino Milvado. You know, that seems more powerful. Right? It helps you overcome the tzara, right? So why should I think? Anyone have an answer to this question? Yeah?
Because if there's only a tyrant in the world, it sounds like a shmer.
It's only what?
There's only a tyrant in the world, it sounds like a shmer.
A tyrant?
A tyrant. Like a dictator, like a wicked ruler is not so shmer. If Hitler is in charge, I'm not so happy.
Right.
Eino Milvado. There's only the communist dictator. Eino Milvado.
Right. So Adam is suggesting that maybe if I say Eino Milvado, but Lamaisa, the problem is still here. Yeah. I hear that. Lamaisa, Rav Daniel Belsky told over once. He said there was a certain Rebbe in the concentration camps, and he just thought Eino Milvado all the time, and Lamaisa just lived like normal. Even when he was nifter, they made a kfur with Levaya. They let him do whatever he want. So you see, like, it doesn't matter what situation you're in. My wife had a roommate in seminary. She said the whole world could be falling down, Ain't no Levaya with Hashem. So, okay, but I hear, maybe for the Hamanam, that's a good answer. Any other answers, suggestions? Rabbi Harris? What? Thinking. Okay. I'll tell you what I said. It was Hashkaf Rishona, but it could be that after giving so many shirim on the topic, I'm already past Hashkaf Rishona, which Rabbeinu Yonah says is always wrong. But I think the pshat is like this. I think it's very easy chiluk. Very pashta chiluk. Is that Eino Movadi you use when something is going wrong, right? Like you're on the beaches of Brazil and you have these two hands around your neck and your head is being like forced into the sand. You have no oxygen coming to your brain. That is a good time to employ Eino Movado. I didn't, by the way, I wasn't on purpose. It just popped into my head because I had heard Rav Elchanan Fishman speak about it a few weeks before. So Baruch Hashem, it's good to go to shmuzim. Sometimes it can save your life. So when there's a state of emergency, right? You're in a case of danger. Eino Movado is the right thing. But the question is afterwards, what do you do, right? Kol ma'adav rachmana utov avid is for after the fact. When something seemingly bad already happened and it's over, Now I have to deal with it. Like the microphone is gone, Okay, I should have walked into the room, it should have been put away, this should happen, this should happen. I mean, that's the Arab. Did you see it? He says, no, I don't take anything, here. And it's probably true because they're cameras, if you get caught, you get fired. But the point is, like, where did it go? And everyone's looking. It was like right there on the bookshelves, it disappeared. And we have to say, call ma'adav rachmana tov because it seems like there are some things which are bad, right? There's always like that room for this is an exception. Kol ma'adav rachmana tov is nothing bad ever happens ever. If this mic is gone, Rav Shimon Galoy told me that is infinite chesed. For some reason, it had to happen, right? I have to speak louder, maybe, or whatever. Maybe we need a mic. It's very interesting. The person who is in charge of the microphones, Rabbi Chemis, she happens to be a reference for a girl that my son is we're looking into for shidduchim. Who knows, And we just met her through this. Who knows exactly what's going on, right? But Hashem knows what's going on. And maybe it's just to be more cognizant that everything is good. But that's the point. Kol ma'adav rachmana l'tov of it, means everything without any exception is good. And in fact, as we're going to see, that this is really the sod of Hanukkah. We're going to see. I just want to finish off this with one more story, that happened to me when I was in the 5 towns. Right? I was out in the 5 towns, and someone invited me to Sheva Brachas. Sheva Brachas. Right? It was Mayor Weissman. He came here once for a shir to the kollel. He's a chashuv yid, and he helps us out with a shul there in Harborview. Anyway, he invited Sheva Brachas. I said, I'll come. I was invited somewhere else for lunch. So I washed in the shul. And I told him, I'm going to give the shortest Sheva Brachas drasha ever. It was 1.5 minutes, right? I spoke, and I got a standing ovation afterwards. That was like the shortest Sheva Brachas drasha ever, right? And everyone was very happy. Anyway, Lamaisa, I walk out, and I go to the place I'm invited. I knock on the door, and there's no answer. I said, that's weird. They invited me for lunch. Nobody's home. This is really weird. They invited me to Shabbos, and I'm in the middle of a Suda, right? So I can't I do something. What am I going to do? Anyway, I thought for a minute, and I said, it's all good, it must be good. So I went down 3 houses, and there was a chashuv yid there. He came once to the kollel, he came here once to the kollel, and I knocked on the door. His wife said, I'm sorry, don't take mishlochim on Shabbos. I said, no, I'm not going to, I need a Shabbos Suda, I'm in my Suda. Anyway, I walk in, and he had a guest there, and the guest said, this is incredible. 1 minute ago, I said, I'm having tremendous sorrows. The next worthy cause that comes into my hand, I'm going to give a major sum of money, right? And it was $20,000. Okay, it's pretty good donation. And it was 1 minute before. So here I am knocking on the door, nobody's answering, and I'm thinking this is insane almost. They invite me for Shabbos. They tell me afterwards they thought I was just joking. Okay, it's a joke. Okay, that wasn't so funny. But Lamaisa, the people invited me. Lamaisa, it's all good. And the worse it looks, the better it is. We'll speak about it more in a minute. Okay.